This is crazy. Utter craziness is the only way to explain what's been going on in the WNBA broadly, but most specifically in the context of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, and in the context of whether or not multiple WNBA players and commentators are engaged in blatant racism. One of the reasons I did this podcast, and I continue to do the podcast, is this. It's multicultural truth. It's multicultural truth. But I keep telling you, because it's the truth, that being multicultural puts us in a position of being honest, puts us in a position of, frankly, telling non-club members that you're wrong, you're out of line. It gives us that responsibility. I know we talk a lot about sports on this podcast, and there's a reason. Sports is one of the most freeing engagements that you can participate in. Sports literally ends up being, you know the truth. You may be the best Caucasian player or the worst African-American player, the best Latina, the best Asian lady, best anything based upon whatever you believe in your ethnicity. Whether you win will be determined based solely upon your ability, generally. Sports is amazing. It sets us free. It is one of the great unifying facts in the history of the world. And with that comes certain insight. Athletes tend to be more clear about people and about life and about circumstances. It's because it's easy to say, oh, well, black people can't do this, or Latinas can't do this, or Asians can't do this in whatever context you're in. But if you're in a sporting event and you say that you can beat that person because she's Asian, or you could beat that person because she's African American, and they go out and beat you, that belief, that professed ability to beat someone based upon their ethnicity goes by the wayside based upon your experience. Athletes tend to be better at assessing basic fundamental issues. They just are. It's why multicultural club members are better at assessing fundamental issues. If you are multicultural, if your dad is Latino and your mother's Asian, and you wake up one day and your parents are fighting, your dad's yelling at your mom and your mom's yelling at your dad, you are less likely to conclude that your father was yelling at your mother because of ethnic differences. You're less likely to conclude that they are not getting along based upon race. You are probably going to conclude, wow, they're having a rough day. Maybe we owe a bill here. Maybe this happened. The first thing in your mind isn't that they are not getting along based upon race or ethnicity. It's that factual analysis. It's that factual processing that multicultural people do, multicultural club members do on an everyday basis, that puts us in a position to say, hey, maybe this is the way to do this, or maybe this is the result. Multicultural truth. It's a unique ability, and it's what separates us from everyone else. It does. It's what gives us strength. It's what's going to move us forward. But it comes with responsibility. I am part African American and part Caucasian. I want to support African Americans as much as possible because in many, many ways, I find myself to believe I'm African American. I am part African American, but I am 100% multicultural. But when I look at my African American brothers and sisters, I consistently see this ongoing issue. And that is sometimes people, African Americans in particular, in my context, are not treating people fairly. That's a shame. You can't have it both ways. What I'm seeing in the Caitlin Clark WNBA MVP process, or Rookie of the Year analysis, are a number of African American females espousing racist beliefs, watching them discriminate, saying discriminatory things, treating someone differently based upon race. That you can't have it both ways. You can't. And if you try to have it both ways, you can't benefit in the long term. You can't assert some moral level of obligation or some moral basis to move forward if when the tables are switched, you engage in basic racism. I've watched this Caitlin Clark debate. There's no question that Caitlin Clark is going to be the Rookie of the Year. It's not even close. And yet I've watched WNBA personality after WNBA personality concoct nutty reasons why Caitlin Clark isn't going to be the Rookie of the Year. More troubling is I've watched WNBA analysts, and ESPN in particular, their analysts, excuse physical assaults against Caitlin Clark. Crazy. If these roles were reversed, people would be losing their mind, and they should. They should. The person who is worse and most at fault is WNBA analyst Sheryl Swoopes. Let me tell you the multicultural truth about Sheryl Swoopes. Sheryl Swoopes is a racist. I'll say it again. Sheryl Swoopes is a racist. I watched her the other day. Caitlin Clark was playing. This other player ran into Caitlin Clark, knocked her down. It is a flagrant foul. It was ugly. It was just plain old ugly. And Sheryl Swoopes the next day sends a text to the woman who who engaged in the blatant foul, the flagrant foul against Caitlin Clark, and said, "Oh, the hate is coming," or something along these lines. It was stunning. Stunning. This person attacked Caitlin Clark, and it was based upon race. I don't care what you say. And you have a WNBA announcer then applauding that attack, that racial attack. Period. End of story. This isn't the first time Sheryl Swoopes has done this. This woman has literally come up with concocted reasons why Caitlin Clark isn't going to be the Rookie of the Year. Made up facts. For example, she said, "Oh, she had an extra year of eligibility." Just not true. She said, "Oh, she had this amazing, she shot this took a high rate of shooting." Just not true. And yet, ESPN and other channels allow Sheryl Swoopes to continue to espouse this blatant racist crap, culminating with Sheryl Swoopes applauding a racial attack against Caitlin Clark. Was it the African American female saying, "I hate you because you're white"? No. But it was an attack, and it appeared to be based upon animosity. I'm not saying the player was racist. I'm saying the person applauding the attack is racist. It's just the truth. It's the truth. We as multicultural club members have to stand up and say, "Stop it." We have to call balls and strikes. Sheryl Swoopes is a racist. Sheryl Swoopes should, we hear all of these people saying so-and-so should be removed for this or that or this. Sheryl Swoopes should be removed. She should be removed. You can't espouse racial animosity and get away with it. The fact that Caitlin Clark is Caucasian is certainly not an exception to that rule. We can't have it both ways, and we don't want it both ways. But as a multicultural club member, as I'm a multicultural club member, but more importantly, as you as multicultural club members, we have an obligation to tell the truth on issues of race, and this is intolerable. It's intolerable. Let's enjoy and appreciate sports for what they are. Let's enjoy and appreciate the fact that multicultural club members are the greatest sports participants in the country. We are. That's fantastic. But I can assure you of this. If Patrick Mahomes was being treated the way Caitlin Clark is, I would be saying it's racist. Caitlin Clark is entitled to participate in her sport. She's entitled to dominate her sport, and she's entitled to do that without being treated differently than similarly situated African American athletes. We can't have it two both ways, and we're not going to. As a multicultural club member, Caitlin Clark is a Rookie of the Year, and ESPN and these other pundits who are engaging in, at minimum, veiled racist attacks against her must stop. However, what you must do is like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I'm Michael Fletcher. This is a Fletchcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you.